Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a layout to share for Simple Stories. I'm using the lovely Simple Vintage Yuletide collection for my layout today. This collection is a simple vintage and it has a very vintage feel to it, and it also has very traditional colours. So yeah, I just picked out the colours that kind of worked for me. I love spots, polka dots like that red you can see there. I also really love any kind of check or gingham design. So I opted for those two patterns there, and I've gone for a design that is something I have done before, sometimes when I'm stuck for inspiration I go back and look through my layouts that I've made previously, and I pick a basic same design that I've done before and then obviously make it different. So on this occasion I've done these 6 squares before, and I've gone for I've gone for 2 quite contrasting pattern papers. So when I've done it before, I've sometimes done it with the same paper, sometimes I've done it with similar papers, but on this occasion they're very, very different, so they're quite contrasting. They're about 3.5 inches each, I think. I've cut them all and I've distressed the edges of each one, and then I'm just sticking them in place in those grid design in those particular rows. I'm not going too far in with my tape or my adhesive because I want to maybe I want to tuck some things under those squares, so I've just kind of tacked them in place. I could also sew round the edges of each of those squares. I didn't on this occasion, but this sort of thing is kind of crying out for that. So something to do next time I do this design. I've got my single photo there, which is a little kind of 2.5 by 3.5 inch portrait photo of my little boy with Santa. We have an amazing Santa linked to our school, and he comes and does our Christmas fair and he does our Christmas lunch, and he said to me this year, would you like me to visit on Christmas Eve? This is last year, and he did. So at 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve he knocks on our door and gives my little boy, who is super enthusiastic about all things Christmas, the surprise and experience of his life, and he came in and sat with us for 20 minutes or so, gave them a few little presents, and they just talked to them, and it was just so super wonderful. So right, okay, so you can see that I've got my photo, and the rule of, I don't know, there's a rule of thirds, something like that, or rule of grids or whatever, is that you should place your focal point, so my photo is my focal point, on a cross. Where you've got that grid, where the lines cross, that's where your focal point goes. So that's what I'm doing. So rather than sitting my photo within the square itself, which you can do and also works very well, one of the design principles or ideas is that you can try and put it on a cross path. So that's what I've done there. I'm just adding some little clusters around various different points of the layout. So obviously one is going to be attached to my photo. I'm building the one at the bottom there with the title, and then I would like another one. Ideally I'd always like 3 clusters, and I think that top section there works really well. It kind of balances out, the 2 on the right balance out with the one on the left, which is going to be bigger because obviously it's attached to my photo. And you can see there that I've just tucked that embellishment in there. I think I'm using a lot of the Floral Ephemera. I've also got some chipboard pieces. The sleigh, I believe, is chipboard, and some of the flowers up on the left hand side are chipboard too, and some of the phrases as well, so quite a few bits. Also I've used the foam stickers as well. They're wonderful, that you can see that pack on the left there. They're really wonderful to use. Some of my favourite embellishments tend to come from the foam stickers in Simple Stories collections. So I've just layered the sleigh on there. I've layered it on with a couple of flowers, probably from the Floral Ephemera or the floral bits. My title I'm adding there too. So my title is the word Santa, and then I've got this little phrase, I've been good, and I just thought that was lovely. It obviously works really well with my photo. So I'm just continuing to add bits and pieces. I love all the bits and pieces from Simple Stories. They have so many different packs. Bits and pieces, floral bits, sentiment bits, journal bits, and sometimes other types of bits. And there's also, in the vintage collections, tends to be these lovely chipboard clusters as well. Yeah, it's all lovely. So just going through this huge amount of choice that I have there, and working out which bits I would like to use. Obviously, I can't use too many huge pieces of ephemera because I don't have enough room on my layout for a start. So I've got that one big piece, which is the sleigh at the bottom, and I've also got some big flowers on the left side, but I can't add anything else that's too big. So now I'm really looking for little things that I can add in, slot in, add to my clusters and build up those layers. So I've got the little naughty or nice sentiment. I've got the number 25 circle. I've got the word believe that I've pulled out because I thought that's lovely. And I also love that little phrase that says the big guy, because obviously he's the big guy, he's the big man. Yeah, fabulous. And then over on the right hand side, I've just added filled with wonder, because he's totally filled with wonder. The word cheer in the circle, and that circle balances out the other 25 circle on the left. And then I wanted to add a few little stars as well to each of the clusters. So I'm just going to add those in. They were a little bit pale, so I was worried that they wouldn't show up too well against the quite heavily patterned backgrounds. So I just added a little, with a fine liner pen, I just added a border around each one, just freehand, and that just gave them a little bit of extra definition. So just making sure that everything is stuck in place, and some things are raised on foam pads and others are stuck flat but curled, like all the flowers, for example, I tend to curl with my fingernail to give them a bit of dimension, kind of give them a bit of a scrunch. Yeah, so just get in there now, pretty much finished. Just adding in some of the lovely decorative brads. I always like that they add a bit of extra texture to a layout, because they have a very different feel to them. They've got that shiny feel, and they're raised and they have metal, so lots of different things there. And then I'm coming in with some of the phrase stickers, because I always adore the phrase stickers on the Simple Stories cardstock stickers. So I've got these moments, I've got miracle, I've got ho ho ho, believe, and over on the left I've got pure joy. Yeah, and then I noticed that there's this lovely red dotty which matches my paper, scalloped border sticker on the cardstock stickers, and I thought that would be really nice to add in to the contrasting squares. So for the checked squares, I've added 2 pieces of the scallop border to 2 of those squares. So now I'm just going to come in with some splatters of black paint, and you can just about see it, but I've handwritten my journaling in the top right square. You can see it better on the photos, yeah, there we go, all done. I hope that you enjoyed seeing how this layout came together. I certainly enjoyed making it. I love how it turned out. I love that I've got this story down on paper. And yeah, love it. So thank you very much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland for Simple Stories using Simple Vintage Yuletide.